Lagos State government to train and empower 200 ECOSA vulnerables on vocational skills. Minister of Housing hints meeting with cement manufacturers orders over rising cost. On foreign scene, Somalia bans use of face masks in capital city over security fears. And in sport, French striker Kylian Mbappe informs PSG of intention to leave the club. I'm Sarah. Now the details. The Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA, in its commitment to ensuring the sustainability of the Social Health Alliance, ECOSA, has partnered with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, WAPA, to train and empower 200 ECOSA vulnerable on various vocational skills. Permanent Secretary of LASHMA, Emmanuel Zamba, said this during the graduation ceremony of the vulnerable on a short-term course organized by WAPA in conjunction with LASHMA at Ojo Square, Shomolu. Zamba, who was represented by the head business development, LASHMA, Olatunji Rotimi, said the empowerment will enable ECOSA vulnerables to be independent as they will be able to pay for their health insurance premium upon the expiration of the one provided free for them by the government. She also applauded Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for dedicating 1% of the Consolidated Revenue Fund, CRF, as equity fund, which is used for the enrollment of the vulnerable on the Ilera Eco Health Insurance Plan. Lagos State House of Assembly has urged the government to support Amina Alige, a 12-year-old student of the Adam Yakubu Memorial High School in Lagos State, who suffered an eye injury after she was allegedly tear-gassed by the police. The House also called on the Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, and the Ministry to offer necessary support to the young girl who is billed for surgery. The matter was brought to the attention of the House by the Chairman, House Committee on Sport and Youth Development, Abiodun Orekoya, during a plenary session presided over by Deputy Speaker Mojisola Laspat Miranda. Orekoya said he received the information through a human rights organization explaining that the incident occurred on Friday, February 9, 2024, in front of a mosque near Adam Yakubu Memorial High School in Iloro, Cement Agege, Lagos, where two schools were embroiled in a clash and the police intervened with tear gas. It said the student's parents have been borrowing money to pay for her treatment and is currently admitted at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasuth. Orekoya pleaded with the House to call on Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to offer support to the parents and help save Amina's life before the situation worsens. The Deputy Speaker, Mojisola Laspat Miranda, directed the Chairman of the House Committee on Education, Secondary, to summon the management of both schools involved in the clash and investigate what led to the clash and report back to the House within 1 week. Special Advisor to the Governor in the Office of Political, Legislative and Civic Engagement, Afolabi Tajuddin, has been honored with a prestigious leadership award by the Fight Against Corruption organization, FACO. This is in recognition of his exemplary dedication to upholding transparency, integrity, and accountability in governance. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, Afolabi expressed his gratitude to FACO, emphasizing the importance of collective action in combating corruption and fostering sustainable development in Lagos State and Nigeria as well. He reiterated its commitment to continually championing initiatives aimed at promoting ethical standards, training institutional frameworks, and empowering citizens to actively participate in the democratic process. And now the rest of the stories. In a move to solve the foreign exchange crisis in the country, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says personal and basic travel allowances will only be paid through electronic channels and not by cash. The Director of Trade and Exchange Department at the Apex Bank, Hassan Mahmoud, made this known in a circular dated February 14, 2024. Mahmoud will set this in line with the CBN's commitment to ensure transparency and stability in the foreign exchange market and avoid foreign exchange malpractices, directed all authorized dealers and general public to note and comply accordingly. In a bid to stem the rising cost of cement and other building materials and enhance delivery of affordable housing in Nigeria, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, has called for a meeting with manufacturers of cement and other building materials in the country. The move is aimed at better understanding the challenges in the sector, sharpening measures to mitigate the rising cost of building materials in the country, and finding sustainable ways to address them. Dangiwa, in a statement by the Special Advisor on Media, Mark Cheese, lamented the high cost of building materials despite the abundance of its raw materials in the country, while covering the recurring disproportionate increase in the price of cement in particular. The Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, says the federal government is working hard to change the present narrative and find lasting solutions to the rising cost of living crisis in Nigeria. Onyejocha said though the federal and state government never emphasized the current realities, the President Bola Tinubu-led administration is working to arrest the situation and ensure normality returns. She urged Nigerians to keep supporting the government with their prayers. President Bola Tinubu has named Dr. Masar Kabir as the new chairman of the board of the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control and reappointed its chief executive officer, Muji Adeyeye. He also appointed a new director general for the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Olaji Idris, who replaces Ifedayo Adetifa. President Tinubu's special advisor on media and publicity, Ajuri Ingilale, announced the appointments in a statement titled, President Tinubu approves leadership changes in health and social welfare sector. The president also approved the appointment and reappointment of board chairpersons and chief executive officers for 8 agencies under the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. Ngelale noted that the president expects the new leadership to substantially raise the standards of health care services delivery for the exclusive benefit of all strata of the Nigerian population. And in foreign news, authorities in Somalia have banned face masks in the capital, Mogadishu, due to security concerns. The spokesperson of Mogadishu administration, Salah Dere, says face masks are being used by criminals to hide their identity and carry out illegal activity. The masks were widely used during the COVID-19 pandemic. Authorities have also outlawed wearing of hats and carrying weapons in public transport, but traditional Sunna hats worn by elders exempt from the ban. The decision was made during a recent security meeting in Mogadishu, chaired by President Hassan Mahmoud. Somalia has been plagued by insecurity for years, but the main threats emanating from the Al-Shabaab militant group. And in the sports, French striker Kylian Mbappe has told Paris Saint-Germain he intends to leave the club at the end of the season. The 25-year-old's deal with the Ligue 1 champion is scheduled to expire, and he has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. Mbappe's future was the subject of a major standoff with the PSG last summer. At one point, Mbappe was exiled from the first team squad and left off of the club's pre-season tour of Asia, but an agreement was reached that ensured PSG would not lose out when Mbappe eventually left, and the terms of his now seemingly inevitable exit are still to be confirmed. The forward has a 1-year extension clause, so it is expected that his departure will involve either a sale with a transfer fee or financial sacrifices on the player's part. Just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicles is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, or just live on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch all our previous programs and news at our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that Sanwo-Olu administration provided 450,000 pupils with e-learning devices? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Health Management Agency, LASHMA, in its commitment to ensuring the sustainability of the Eco-Social Health Alliance, ECOSA, has partnered with the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, WAPA, to train and empower 200 ECOSA vulnerable on various vocational skills. In a bid to stem the rising cost of cement and other building materials and enhance the delivery of affordable housing in Nigeria, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, has called for a meeting with manufacturers of cement and other building materials in the country. We also told you that authorities in Somalia have banned face masks in the capital, Mogadishu, due to security concerns. And in sport, French striker Kylian Mbappe has told Paris Saint-Germain he intends to leave the club at the end of the season. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagosstate.gov.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Adewale Oluwaporoku. I am Sarah Adesanya.